Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Alright guys, so today I wanted to do a video that I've been getting a lot of people asking me about, and that's just to take a look at the VIP shop with a specific lens, and that is the lens of a free-to-play player. Now I want to make a disclaimer, I actually used to be a free-to-play player. I've been there, I know what it's like, I know the grind and how frustrating it can be. So what I'm going to try to do is go through and talk through what items I used to get and what I would recommend that you do, especially with a lot of the changes and updates that we've had to the VIP shop. I'm actually really fortunate. I just recently got VIP 15 and that unlocked a whole last category of items for me to be able to purchase and gives me the opportunity to talk about the entire shop as a whole. Now I realize that most people that have VIP level 15 probably paying a little bit. It's just hard to reach that point without. Maybe for some people that have been playing as long as I have, you might have gotten kind of close to it, and maybe you pushed the last little bit with diamonds. I know that's what I did. But realistically, probably still on VIP 13 or 14, so I'll try to take that into a little bit of account. But let's just start at the top. So the Blessing Stone is the only thing in the VIP shop that does not require blue diamonds. Instead, it requires 20 Marks of the Dragons, and you can buy it up to 7 times. If you have available Marks of the Dragon, I would recommend buying this. Now, here's the caveat I will give. Most people in the game that have been playing for a little while have already gotten both the Tier 1 and Tier 2 dragons all the way up to level 60. If you have not yet done that, you may want to save some of your marks so that you can buy food and other things. That being said, depending on how long you plan on playing this game, you will eventually max out those dragons, and then all of that food that you've gotten and all the other essence that you have is not going to be useful to you, and you'd rather have it as Blessing Stones. So if you want to play the long game, put those marks into Blessing Stones. It's the best thing you can get with them. As you can see, I'm pretty low on them because the second I get enough Blessing Stones, or the second I get enough marks, I'm buying Blessing Stones. Now, everything else in the shop requires blue diamonds, and blue diamonds is the base currency that you're going to use for pretty much everything in the game. So let's start with speed-ups. Universal speed-ups are universal. You can use them on anything. And this tends to make them pretty good, especially for a free-to-play player that's just starting out, or even a free-to-play player that's been playing for a little while. So I think regardless of your level, I think this 60-minute speed-up is a good investment. It's cheap, easy to get each day, and it's going to help you to build up your account quickly. This is something that a lot of higher level players actually don't buy anymore because frankly they just don't need the speed ups. I have about 1,000 days of speed ups saved up just because there's not a whole lot that you need to be speeding up aside from troop training at this point in the game. So with that being said, the 60-minute speed ups, good one to get because you'll pretty much always need it at some point. I'm sure next time I get into UC, I'm probably going to blow through all of them healing like crazy. Alright, the motivation. This is a must-buy. It does not matter what level of the game you're at, whether you're free-to-play, pay-to-win. It doesn't really change the fact that everyone needs motivation. If you do not need motivation, it means you're not spending motivation, which means you're not playing the game right. You need to use your motivation so you can kill more rebel leaders, so you can get better gifts for your alliance, and so you can get better gear for your equipment. Use this motivation, and this is the cheapest way to get it. Definitely worth the buy. Okay, endurance, there's just not a lot to spend on endurance, so I would say this is skippable. Even if you're free to play, don't bother with it. Charm, same thing, easy skip. Lord experience, definite skip. This is incredibly expensive for something that you will very, very quickly get to level 60. If your Lord isn't level 60 yet, promise you it's not worth it. I think this is pretty much only worthwhile if you are trying to create a Hoff quickly and you want to get your Lord level up to 17. Maybe then, or I guess in theory if you were like desperate to get to level 25, but I promise you, look at this, I have tons of extra. I've got 3 extras right now, and that's, these are only the 10k ones. I have some of the bigger ones that I've saved up, and I'm never going to use them, so don't get this. 3-hour speed up, same as the other universal. The Spirit of the Weirwood Tree, this is a really interesting one. until you have all of the free-to-play commanders gold, I really think this is worth a buy. I think it's good to get so you can just accumulate more of them. Also, you want to make sure that you have enough so that when you get to Weirwood Memories Day, you can max that out. Maxing out meaning you can get, all of the Hector medals, all of the epic badges. Like, those are all really good. If you're free to play, you probably don't care about the epic badges, but at the very least, the Hector badges, definitely very, very good for you to get. Alright, random books of wisdom. This just depends on your game. If you have already awakened all the commanders you want, and you don't need more books, then don't do it. Also, if you're a free-to-play account, which is what this is really supposed to be about, you probably aren't benefiting that much from, the basic, new commander being released, all the rewards that you get from awakening them quickly, because those are all paid commanders, and you don't have those unlocked. So, random book of wisdom definitely depends on your account. I tend to buy them because I really want to awaken as many commanders as I can, but if you're free to play, probably not worth it for you to get. Materials chest, please no, do not do that. You just farm, just get it by gathering. You don't need to buy them here. Please note this is not the same as a badge chest. I'll get to the badge chest later. The ox meat, this is another one that I really don't think is worth getting. Your dragon, you can see how much I have left over. Again, kind of the same deal as with the blessing stones. You will eventually run out of food because you will max out your dragons and then you don't need it anymore. So just be careful with that. If you really want to get your dragon to the next level, maybe buy it once or twice, but I would really advise against it. Alright, precise transfers. This is an interesting one. I used to think this was a must buy. It's a good price and you're going to be using them, but as you can see, I have a lot. I have 270 of them, and just the more you play the game, you'll get them from places, and you're not going to use as many as you get. So, precise transfers, I would say even if you're free to play, probably not needed. You'll probably get plenty throughout playing the game, and you don't need to buy them here. Training speeds, I'll treat this as the rest of the universal speeds, kind of the same deal as that. We already talked about Book of Wisdom. The research speeds, I would definitely avoid. Like I said, you will reach a point where you do not want to research anymore. It's just not helpful or needed at all. So I would stay away from research speeds. If you're free to play and don't have like tier 4s yet, then of course buy them because you need to get to tier 4s. But once you have that, I think that most of the rest of the research is not as vital. I would not buy resources in the VIP shop. It's just generally not a very good deal. Okay, friendship chest. This is a really interesting one. If you do not have all of the free-to-play commanders at at least the gold level that have combat rate if you want to be a combat castle, then I definitely would keep buying the friendship chests. You want to get all of those to be as high a combat rate as possible, and just having more of the aptitude and everything else gives you more free speed ups and all of those other good things like gold. It's worth it to get those friendships up. But once you have all your free to play commanders up at gold, it is so hard and such a grind to get them much higher that I would not recommend purchasing here. Your diamonds are just too valuable and I wouldn't spend them here. Alright, elite general tokens. This is what I would say is probably the biggest thing for you to spend on if you are a free-to-play account. If you're a free-to-play account, elite general tokens are the only tokens you really care about because you can't use the epic, you don't want to waste epic tokens on a free-to-play commander, but you don't have the paid commanders because you are a free-to-play account. So I would really recommend investing in the elite general tokens. Awaken as many free-to-play commanders to level 80 as you can. It'll increase your army marching size. Also, it's going to give you better stats, a lot of them good passive stats. I'm going to do another video talking about all the different free-to-play awakenings and which ones I would do first. But at this point in the game, I can't see a time when you're not going to need more elite general tokens, so I would definitely recommend getting this. More resources, I'm going to skip over that. Craftsman Hammer, this is a buy as needed. When you need to make a purchase of a level 25 castle, building, then certainly buy them here, but probably not a daily buy. Okay, honor banners. This is a tough one. I mean, kind of same thing with Craftsman Hammer. It's based on where you are with buildings. I would say as a free-to-play account, you probably should be buying this just because it's good to get your castle level up as high as possible. It's going to make you a much more combative castle, it's going to be able to do a lot more in the game. And because you're a free-to-play castle, you're not really spending as much on other things, like maybe the elite tokens, but I would say the honor banners, another thing up there that really increases your account's strength and can make you much more formidable. But this is, again, something, along with the elite badges too, I should say, that probably, if you're a paid account, probably not going to be spending as much on this, just because you don't really need it. It's not quite as necessary for your account. You're probably already close to max. I already have level 10 castle. So all my honor banners, I mean, there are other things to spend it on, don't get me wrong, but they're just not as high of a priority, and there are other places to get it, and I'm willing to do that a little bit slower. Okay, the advanced skill raffle token. I actually really think this is a good buy as a free-to-play castle. I don't get it as paid castle, because even those red dragon skills aren't as valuable to me as the Legion ones, the really expensive ones. So I would say if you're a free-to-play castle, this is huge because it can make your dragon a bigger asset to your alliance. Getting those red passive skills, dragon skills, are really, really good. So I would definitely recommend buying these 5 each time. It's a cheap way to get them. Again, there's not a whole lot else that you really need as a free-to-play castle, and getting your dragon up strong is going to really help you a lot in terms of helping your alliance and being stronger as an individual. Epic tokens you can definitely skip. You're just not gonna ever need them. Your commanders don't require them, so you should always use the elites. Black bear meats, more dragon food, don't need that. Resources, skipping. Army size, depends on if you need it or not. I have plenty, so I never really buy this, but if you were desperate for one, I would definitely say to buy it. Okay, ancient scriptures. As you can see, I've already bought it today because ancient scriptures are huge. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, but as a free-to-play account, your goal should be to do as much for your alliance as you can while still being free-to-play. And what I mean by that is you're probably not going to be a huge rally leader unless you go to a smaller alliance in a smaller kingdom. As a free-to-play account, you're just probably never going to be a formidable rally lead. That being said, you could be a free-to-play account in the biggest of alliances and still be really helpful. Like I said, if your dragon is strong, if your army size is big, if you have good skills that you can put on it, and most importantly, very soon, if you have tier 5 troops. I am of the belief that probably not yet, but in the next month or so, we're going to start seeing tier 5 troops. That's only going to be on the big mega whales that blitzed it and got it as much as they could. I'm pretty sure that it's probably going to be another year or so before most common players are able to get tier 5 troops realistically without having spent a ton on them. But when that starts to happen, tier 5 troops are going to replace tier 4 troops as the rare commodity and the requirement in many ways to be in a top alliance. Again, I see this being about a year out, but if you see yourself playing this game for the long term, buy ancient scriptures, because you need to start getting on your way towards tier 5 troops. That way at some point you'll be able to have some to send in a big whales rally and participate. I want to be very clear about something. If you don't expect to play this game that long, or if you're in not a big alliance where it's not going to matter, then this maybe isn't worth your time. It's going to be very expensive, and it's going to take forever. So this is really just for specifically if you're free to play in a major alliance, then I think ancient scriptures are a must buy. Again, it's going to take forever. I think someone did the math, and it was years that it would take, even if you're buying all 15, which is how much you can buy in the VIP shop. But this game is a grind in every way. That's what they said about tier 4s at the start, and everyone did that anyway. So if you are going to grind it, I would say ancient scriptures are a must buy. Badge chests, also a must buy. This is a must buy if you're trying to make your account as strong as you can. And what I mean by that is you don't maybe realize that you get a ton of stats out of your badges, more than pretty much anywhere else. If you think about what it means to have all the SS troops, that is not as much value as you get out of having all gold attack badges. Gold attack badges are worth 25% of that particular troop's attack, and you get 8 different slots, so that's 200%, cavalry, infantry, bow, spear attack just in badges alone. And then if you also have maxed out your refinement and get 360 more from that, that's 560 just from those two sources. So you can already see that you can be a very formidable account. I think I misspoke. I think it would be 520 because it's 320 from the refinement, 200 from the badges. So 520% just from those two places. If you get, a lot of other bonuses from your commanders, if they're awakened, you're going to get bonuses there. You'll start to see, wow, you can have an account that's getting close to 1,000 troop attack, even though you're totally free to play. Those are all free to play things to get. So, it makes you actually a valid combat castle if you want to do either solos or tank rallies or whatever else you might do. That being said, I think that for a lot of people that, like I said, if they're grinding ancient scriptures, they want to try to be the type of account that's going to be just a rally filler and a zero castle, then maybe you don't care as much about badge just because you know you're never going to actually be doing combat yourself. It's always through others. Okay, research notes. I think research notes are basically like never worth it if you're a free-to-play account. You're just not going to need great city research, and all the different researches that it's doing are just not that beneficial to you, and they're pretty expensive. Other better things to spend on, frankly. Okay, we got a bunch of resources down here. We don't bother with those. If you get to VIP 15, which is these last couple, then you get 10 more ancient scriptures. You can also get the gold friendship chests. These are basically the same as the other things we've discussed so far. Nothing crazy. I think that these basically apply to what I've said before. So I hope this is really helpful for you guys. Like I said, this is really meant to be catered to everyone out there that's a free-to-play account wondering, with all this new stuff in the VIP shop, what should I be buying? What's best for my game? And like I said, it's a lot up to you. If you want to be a combat castle, invest in those badge chests, invest in the dragon scrolls. If you want to be a really good rally filler and you want to be really loyal to your alliance, motivation, the scrolls, the ancient scriptures, all that good stuff. It's going to really help you and going to help your alliance. But there's a lot that being a free-to-play commander, a free-to-play castle, you can skip. Don't buy epic general tokens, stuff like that. You probably just don't need because you're not going to ever worry about those types of things in the game, and that's what a lot of the rest of us are spending on. So anyway, I hope this helped. I hope you learned a thing or two. Stay tuned for next video. I'm going to be doing another one about what free-to-play awakening skills I would get, as that's kind of tied to this. But hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.